Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave. These are the most enchanting topics in the human inquiry. One of the inquiry is there existence before birth? Second inquiry is life after there was. And the child was asking her mother, Mummy, and mother was busy, very seriously studying James Hadley Chase. Very seriously busy. And baby comes, Mama, I want to know, is there life after? Will you please shut up? No, I am busy. Don't you see? Mummy is busy studying. Once, twice, thrice. And afterwards, when the book is done, yes, darling, now ask, what's your question? Is there life, Mama, after marriage? Not death. So these are the two topics. Topic of birth and topic of death. There is one chapter in Bhagavad, which is called as Sanat Sujatiya. There are 4-5 chapters. Like Bhagavad Gita is from Mahabharata, from Bhishma Parva, and from 25th to 42 chapters constitute Bhagavad Gita. In the same manner, in the same Mahabharata, there are 5 chapters which are again addressed by Vidura to this Dhritarashtra. So, there the topic taken for discussion is, there is no possibility of death. This is the topic. Bhagavan Shankaracharya has written most wonderful bhashya on that. So, see the variety. One, constantly persecuted by the fear of death. We all. Second thing, we are all the time worried about what will happen after death. One lady asked me this question, Swamiji, don't cut me just like that, don't brush me away, please tell sincerely, for once, what will happen after I die? I say, seriously, I am telling you, everybody will be happy. No, not them. What will happen to me? See, very important. So, when we are identified with the body, fear of death is constantly hovering on our head like the clouds. When we consider ourselves to be the jiva, the soul, we are constantly worried about what will happen after I discard the present body. Is it necessary, Swamiji, that after we discard the human body, we will be getting only the human body and no other body? Or this is the last chance, and after we die, next life will not be human body. Again we have to wait for 84 lakhs of yonis and again you get in the queue. This is the concern about our life after death when we consider ourselves to be the soul. Now, keeping these two concerns, this topic has to be understood. Arjuna has seen the terrifying form of the Lord in its totality. And in that, what he has seen? He has seen that Vaktrani te tvaramana vishanti drashtra karalani bhayanakani kechit vilagna dashanantareshu sadrushante churnitaihi uttamangaihi. All these warriors who have come on the battlefield, oh Lord, they are entering your widely open mouth and you are chewing them like a chewing gum. And in between the teeth, wherever there is little space, somebody's hand is stuck, somebody's head is stuck, and you are trying with your tongue to take it out. Leli, say the word uses this. Oh Lord, how they are entering. Now these 2-3 topics we'll try to understand today. 2 examples are given. First example is Yatha nadinam bahavombu vegaha samudramevabhimukha dravanti tatha tavami naraloka viraha vishanti vaktranya bhivijvalanti. First example. Second example, Yatha pradiptam jvalanam patanga vishanti nashaya samruddha vega tathaiva nashaya vishanti lokaha tavapi vaktrani samruddha vegaha. First example, how people are dying. Some people are dying like the rivers are pouring themselves into the ocean and disappearing. When the river reaches the ocean, the river dies. This is one method of death. And the second method of death is like the moths. When there is bright fire, they get so much attracted. And when they get attracted, they don't think about anything and they just go and jump and want to hug that bright burning fire and destroy themselves. So these are the 2 examples given. See how scientific it is. Now let us understand and analyze them. See, die we all have to. There is no choice. Now the question is, do we know how to die? Unless we are from Australia. Isn't it? People from Australia, you ask them, hey, when did you come to die? So you tell them, I don't want the purpose. I want to know the time when you have come. So he gives the reply to die. The purpose is to death. So all of us have to die. Now the question is, do we conclude our life in fulfillment or we conclude our life in disgust? This is the choice. Now see the first example. See, recently I came from Badrinath and there are many junctions of the river confluences. They are called as Prayag. Like there are 5 of them. Deva Prayag, Vishnu Prayag and Rudra Prayag, Nanda Prayag and Karna Prayag. Thank God, I remembered all the 5. So, this Prayag. And what we used to do, while coming, we have taken bath in those places. Now, when this is done, immediately the question pops out. We are all poppies, therefore questions pops out. So the question, Swamiji, what is the significance of taking bath in this river? One person asked me. I said, so that the person sitting next to you in the bus can live happily. Therefore, take bath. Otherwise, it is so stinky. So, now what is this junction of the two rivers? Why this is holy? Please understand this. Take for example, Rudraprayag. Rudraprayag is the junction of two rivers. One is Mandakini coming from Kedarnath, and the other is Alaknanda coming from Badrinath. When these two rivers merge together, what happens? Mandakini river gives up her name and form, and thereafter that river is called as only Alaknanda. Thereafter we go to Devaprayag. When you go to Devaprayag, again two rivers come. Alaknanda from here and the Bhagirathi from Gomukh. When these two rivers come together, both of them give up their name and form. From that point onward, Alaknanda is not called as Alaknanda and Bhagirathi is not called as Bhagirathi. From that point onward, the river is called as Ganga. And therefore, Ganges are the most holy place, the river. So what is the holiness in that? Wherever there is transcending of the individual name and form, that point of our life is the holiest point of our life. See? That is real death. And such a one alone has fulfilled his life. So, when we are living in this world, are we living the life in such a manner that there are no regrets towards the end of our life? Or we have lived our life in such a terrible manner that toward the end of our life there is nothing but regrets, regrets, regrets. The higher the concentration of regrets in the old age of one's life, more loneliness and frustration is the experience of life. I think I should not have done that. I think I should not have done that. But now it is too early for the next life. It is over. And the load of the regrets are terrible loads that we can bear in our life. Therefore, here Arjuna says, some of the warriors are entering in you and getting consumed like the rivers are entering in the ocean, meaning their conclusion of life on the battlefield is the fulfillment of their purpose in this world. Now, what is our purpose in this world? Be very attentive. Wherever we are placed by the Lord, for whatever purpose, it is His purpose that is fulfilled through us. We have no purpose to be achieved. Please remember this. Last time I gave an example about the screwdrivers. Suppose I have to tighten somebody's screw. So I can't use my finger, so I'll take a screwdriver. Now that screwdriver has no purpose. The purpose is for the hand who is wielding the screwdriver. In the same manner, we are all created by the Lord for His purpose and we are merely the instruments in His hand. Now tell me, If you want to tighten the screw by a screwdriver, and if the screwdriver says, I'm sorry, I don't feel like touching that screw. Who asked you? No, I like to loosen the screw, not tighten. You have no choice. Therefore, our life will be fulfilled when we have nothing to achieve. We let His will flow through us. How do we know that His purpose is fulfilled through us? This is where the Dharma Shastra comes into play. If I am a father, I have duty towards my children. If I am a child, I have duty towards my parents. If I am a husband, I have duty towards my wife or wives, as the case may be. If I am a wife, I have duty towards my husband. If I am an officer, I have duty towards my work. In this manner, be very attentive. When we start leading our life on the foundation of duty-oriented existence, you will never have the regrets. Alas, I had done this or I should not have done this. Such a person has a fulfillment in life. And what is the fulfillment? Merging of the river in the ocean. See? When the river merges in the ocean, it loses its identity. It disappears. And this is possible on this battlefield, O Lord, because all those warriors who have come here just to complete the job to which they are assigned, all of them will be definitely attaining the fulfillment after the war is over. Who are among them? They are Bhishmacharya, they are Dronacharya, they are Krupacharya, they are Ashwathama, and all of them. So, when the war is going on, all the people are dying, some of them are dying in the fulfillment of their existence. That is life worth living. Now there is a second category of people who die in this world. They die like the moths attracted toward the fire. And what is the purpose of their life? Constant involvement with extreme temptations, getting licentious involvement and discovering as if it is a freedom. See, I was today whole day with one NRI, and after our work we are discussing something about what is the reason that in the Western world, even after Indians when they have gone, there is so much of discord, particularly if the husband and wife are softy. You know, you must have heard Laurel and Hardy. So, now it is Hardy and Softy. Software engineer, hardware engineer. And if the husband and wife, both of them are softy, constantly looking at the monitor with options. Life is not looking at the husband with options. It is acceptance total. When this does not happen, constantly fight, argument, logic. Because I want my freedom. And what freedom? To lead a life of loneliness and frustration. And discover, I have really had freedom. Friends, this licentious lifestyle, getting lost only in the money, is discovered or described by the second example. Like the moths are attracted toward the fire and they destroy themselves in the same manner. We get involved so much in the world that we forget the very purpose for what we have come. So, these two things I am seeing, O Lord. And further he continues, Leli yase grasamanas samantat lokan samagran vadanaihi jwaladbihi tejo bhira purya jagat samagram Bhasastavograha pratapanti Vishnu. Hey Vishnu, O Lord, when you are eating, some of them are trying to escape the trap of death that your mouth is. And that time you take out your tongue and pull them inside like a South Indian curry. It is a great joy to watch, Today I went to one South Indian for taking food on the plantain leaf. I said, kindly give me everything in katori, including rice. Because when they put, that sambar and the curry and this thing, and it starts flowing, you run here, it comes from here. But they are so comfortable, cut, nothing happens to them. So, when all these fellows are trying to run away from your mouth, oh Lord, you are you are pulling and licking them with your tongue. And bhasastavogra, and the heat and the light of thine is so extreme and terrible, because of which pratapanti Vishnu, hey Vishnu, everybody is roasted as if. Now up to here, two things are concluded in Arjuna's experience. First thing is, whenever our attention is on the finite, we are bound to suffer the pangs of death. Whenever our attention is on the infinite, death cannot touch the infinite. When you are in the east and start migrating towards west, from one particular point, the west you will imagine. So the moment west begins, east has died. If you are in the North Bombay, South Bombay is dead for you. But if our attention is only on the space, so in that space, north, east, west, south, everything is included. In the same manner, when our attention is only on the individual body, we are bound to suffer the pangs of death. Therefore, the first principle that we all have to learn, without any choice. You have no choice. And what is that? The principle is, as long as we consider ourselves to be body and start living as the body, the fear of death will not spare you. So what is all the spiritual practice? Get out of this individual body identification and start living as the soul which is residing in the body, like a tenant residing in the house. When the contract is over, the tenant has to go. In the same manner, when we start taking the second view of our life, that if I am the soul, if I have done something good or bad in my last life, therefore good or bad experiences are coming in this life, and whatever life I will live in this life will be reflected in my next life, and therefore I exist beyond the limitations of birth and death of this body. The moment this becomes so deeply conviction in our heart, death will never create any fear in our mind. This is such a great fun, the Maya of the Lord. We Hindus, after the death, perform the Shraddha and do everything. For whom? For the dead body? No. For the departed one. That means we accept that after the body is dead, the soul continues to exist. Therefore, who is dead? There is nobody who dies. And if this is true, why become bitter and struggle in this material world and destroy our own peace? The whole orientation of your life, principle and philosophy will undergo tremendous change if this is recognized. Such a person alone can take the next step of life. As to this jiva, who is this jiva? What is this jiva? What is his nature? How it is born? How it is destroyed? Is he real? And when the inquiry goes in that direction, then everything disappears and we come to recognize the absolute abode of our own independent being. And in that, relativity appears like the waves appear on the ocean. In the same manner, relativity will never touch us. Therefore, this Vishwarupa Darshan is a technique by which we are given this three-tier understanding. So, when he saw that terrible form killing everybody, the fear has gripped Arjuna. And therefore he says, Akhyahi me ko bhavan ugra rupo. Hey, ugra rupo bhavan. Oh dear sir, this terrible form, who are you? And namostute devavara prasida. And I salute you, O Devavara, the best among all the gods. And prasida, kindly bless me, kindly cool down. Vijñātumichhāmi bhavantam ādyam. I want to know, O Lord, where from you have come, who you are, what is your nature. And nahi prajanami tava pravrittim. And I am not able to understand what for you have started killing the whole world. Kindly tell me who you are. See, it is only at the time of death that we start thinking for a moment, little sensible, for a moment, and that will little sensible. One day, one of my friend's friend died. Now that my friend was old, 75, his friend died. So he took me, Swamiji, please come there. So I went there. Now the dead body was lying. So we went there and sat there with a swollen face. What else can you do? So I sat there. Swamiji, my friend told me, please tell something about Gita. To whom? To whom should I tell? To the dead one who cannot listen, and the living ones who don't want to listen. To whom will I tell? Swamiji, here also you are cutting jokes. I said, this is not joke, this is the truth. See? Whenever we see death, suddenly for a fraction of moment, that is called as smashana vairagya. This passion born out of visiting the burial ground for 2 minutes. So when Arjuna saw such terrible destruction, suddenly he came to senses and said, "Oh Lord, who you are." See, if we become extremely sensitive and are able to perceive in between the lines, then all these things become very clear. For example, when we hear suddenly someone, our own dear and near, has died. So what is the normal talk that goes on? Swamiji, we went for a walk together in Shivaji Park in the morning, and I went to his house and we had a cup of tea. I came home, and the moment I came home, I got a phone call. My friend died. Swamiji, how this happens? Don't worry. You are in the queue. Till then, that the feeling or the thought of death doesn't teach us anything. So when this experience was seen, He wants to know, "Oh Lord, who you are, kindly tell me." Now the teacher says, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, Kalosmi loka kshayakrut pravruddhaha lokan samahartumiha pravruttaha rute pitvam na bhavishyanti sarve yeva sthita pratyanikeshu yodhaha. Bhagavan says, do you want to know who am I? I am the eternal time. And pravruddhaha, I am grown to consume the whole world. Now here understand the principle of time. If you understand the principle of time, you have conquered death. See, principle of time is recognized only when a sequence is established. Sunrise, sun going on the top, sunset, then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then January, February, March, April, May, June, then Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar, Kali Yuga, goes on. Wherever there is a sequence, time is born. See, this sequence is established by that which does not undergo any change. See? Second principle. Now third. Therefore, the time is established only by that which is not influenced by the time. Three principles, now fourth principle. This is very simple. You take anything in this world, let us take, this flower. Now it is so fresh, so beautiful. If we just leave it without doing anything, the principle of kala, the principle of time, the principle of death is already operating on this. And how it is operating? Slowly, slowly, this fresh flower is reaching towards its death. Now when this flower is reaching towards its death, who has done what? Nobody has done nothing. See? Now that because of which a constant change is created in everything. That principle is, the Lord here says, Kalosmi loka kshayakrut pravritta. How important it is. It is not that the kala, the principle of time, is influencing only the living being. No. Even the dead beings are influenced by the time. For example, a living person dies, he stops growing. But the principle of Kala is operating even on the dead body. It will start getting putrefied, it will start getting into rigor mortis, or it will start getting into oozing out all the liquids, and a stage comes that it goes back to the five great elements. What is that principle? Because of which everything in this world is changing. That principle is called as Kala, and that is God. Now, if you have recognized this death as God, can you be ever afraid of death? How important it is. So, Bhagavan says, Arjuna, you have imagined only one-sidedness. The beauty is God. What is ugliness then? The birth is God's grace. Then what is the death? Death is also God's grace. Achievement is God's grace. Failure is also God's grace. See? Once we understand all the pairs of opposite, they are supported by something which is not influenced by both of them. And therefore all the pairs of opposite, they are not actually the pairs of opposite, they are the pairs of mutual complements. The death complements the birth. Imagine, now this is the condition today in the whole world. Old people are refusing to die. And we say the population is growing. Population is not growing because more people are born. Less people are dying and therefore the population is growing. Imagine. So the birth and the death are there mutually complementary to each other. Health and disease, they are complementary to each other. In this world, everything is happening because of this one principle which is allowing all the changes to happen. So Bhagavan says, Arjuna, don't imagine only beauty as God. Ugliness is also God. Don't imagine goodness as God. Even the worst thing is also the same Lord. If your attention is on the Supreme Self. Kalosmi lokakshayakrit pravruddhaha. So I am that time who has become extremely active for the destruction of this whole world. Now tell me, is it not happening every moment? Now I'll take you a little subtler level of understanding. See, a small child, the other day I have seen one girl in Juhu. I only named that baby as Radhika. She was just small, about 2 weeks or so. So they told me, Swamiji, a baby girl has come, we are waiting for you to come, you have come. Now tell please what name we should give. I said, name her as Radhika. They said, Swamiji, her name also has come on R. I said, okay, go ahead. And thereafter I went and sat with that child, played, kissed, hugged, everything. And after that, 6 years I have no contact. After 6 years I went. And that horizontal specimen became vertical. Say, hey, how suddenly she has grown up? So her mother said, Swamiji, not suddenly. 6 years have gone. So the childhood died and the young age is born. The youth dies and the not so old age is born. Then the not so old age is born, I think old age is born. And then that I think old age dies away and then really old age is born. See, there is a continuity of birth and death every moment in this world. And this phenomena is supported by that one reality and that is called as Kala. The principle of change supported by the unchanging principle together constitutes Kala. This is how these two principles are brought together in our day-to-day experience. First, principle of time, and second is the principle of space. Time and space are exactly opposite and yet they are equal. When the distances are spoken of, they are spoken of either with reference to time. Andheri, how far? 1 hour? So 1 hour Andheri from here. Or 20 kilometers. So do you take 20 kilometers is equal to 1 hour as a standard equation? No. In Bombay this is equation. So the change as reported by the time is equivalent to the distance, the space which is not changing. These two principles, the principle of time and the principle of space, together is the divine absolute reality. Therefore, when we transcend these two principles, Desha and Kala, you are liberated from this world. So, Kalosmi loka kshayakrut pravruddha lokan sama artumiya pravruddha. And I am here now ready to consume the total world of names and forms. And the most important thing he says, Rute pitvam na bhavishyanti sarve. Arjun, you are thinking that you are the cause for killing the people on the battlefield. Bhagavan says, Rute pitva, even without you, they are already dead in my calendar. See, what is the present for me is the future for someone else. You all must have experienced one way or the other. In USA, there are 3 time zones. You leave, suppose it is a 1 hour flight. You leave at 7 o'clock and you reach at 7 o'clock. And you traveled for 1 hour. How come you have traveled for 1 hour, but it is the same time? Time has not changed. See how simple it is. So when Bhagavan says, you think that you are killing, the world is what is already decided. Rute pitva, even without you, these are going to be killed. Now about this, in Bhagavad Mahapuran, there is a story which comes. When Parikshit ji was bitten by the snake and he died, that time his son Janmejaya became extremely angry. And he started conducting a sacrifice where all the snakes will come and get burned. And he started very powerfully. And when it became too much, then the Lord came and told him, stop all this nonsense. And then he gave the highest wisdom. Please remember, in this world, nobody kills nobody, nobody helps nobody. Everything is happening in this world according to the perfect divine plan. Rute pitvam na bhavishyanti sarve. You are thinking here, Arjun, that you are going to kill somebody? Once this thought disappears from our mind, neither we can harm anybody, nor we can help anybody. Neither we can kill anybody, nor anybody can kill me. Everything is perfectly determined. Once you accept this principle, you will be extremely relaxed and let the life be lived through us. So, Rute pitvam na bhavishyanti sarve eva stita pratyanikeshu yodha. So, all the warriors whom you are thinking they will be killed by you, don't worry, they are already dead in anticipation. Therefore, Arjun, tasmat tvamuttishcha yasho labhasva jitva shatrun bhunksha rajyam samruddham mayaivaite nihita purvameva nimittamatram bhavasavya Tasmat, therefore, Arjun, I had told you, see all what you wanted to see, now you wanted to know whether we will win the war or they will win the war. Now here I declare, before the cricket match is played, the result is already declared. See, this technique has come from Bhagavan Krishna. They already decide. Nobody can change it. They are all the devotees of Bhagavan. So, tasma, therefore, tam uttishta. Come on, rise. And yasho labhasva. You are born to succeed in this world. And jitva shatrum. And you conquer all your enemies. And bhunksva rajyam samruddham. And participate in the prosperity of your own existence. See, if we want to really prosper in life, what is required is that fearlessness and self-confidence. Fearlessness and self-confidence, those who do not have, they should not take wrong steps in life. Wherever there is fear, wherever there is lack of confidence, better go in the same routine way that you are living. We must know what is our own capacity. Otherwise we go wrong. So Arjuna is told by the Lord, Arjun, I know your capacity. Arise awake and fight away all the enemies and you will win. Because Maya eva ete nihata purvameva. I have already killed them. You may be seeing them that they are alive. But in my diary, they are already deleted. Supari ho gayi. You know, in puja they give supari, na? That supari is this only. So everybody is given supari, is given. Maya eva ete nihata purvameva. And then what is your purpose? Nimitta matra bhava savya sachin. You take the total credit. See, Bhagwan has to make somebody responsible, and I am making you responsible for this victory. I have done all the job. See how important. Now, as a result, what will happen if we take this principle? On a truck, I wrote, or rather read, there it was written, more than our luck and before the appropriate time, nothing else is gained in life. It is not a pessimistic cry of a dropout. It is the realistic appreciation of a wise person. So, work sincerely with all the things that you have to do. But remember, don't lose your cool. Keep yourself in that cheerful and joyful mood. And that is the ultimate of our life. See, we do not know when we are going to die. Today I am going to tell you a secret. We do not know when we are going to die. And if at the time of leaving body, at the time of death, if we are crying, frustrated, depressed, dejected, or in coma, we will be born in the next life like a python. Ajgar Ali. He'll be born like that. And at the time of leaving your body, if you are all peaceful, cheerful, happy, no regrets and relax, then like the river merges in the ocean, the jiva will merge in the absolute. How much important it is. And therefore, you don't know when you are going to die. But it is necessary that at the time of death, you have to be cheerful. So what is to be done now? Remain all the time cheerful. Meaning, when you are all the time cheerful, you are all the time ready to die. Arey, aa gaya. See? Is it not so when we are going for a vacation? See, the other day when I went to Badrinath, I had gone so many times. But those people who go for the first time, they will be preparing a lot. Reservation, what is required? Do we require clothes there? I said, no, you don't require clothes. No, not that way. Warm clothes. Okay, warm clothes. Any questions people can ask. And you require the thermal wear and you require the socks and all that. And then as the days are approaching, our excitement, our joy that I am going is so extreme, is it not? In the same manner, if we become more and more cheerful and happy as we are going to discard this wretched body and graduate to the divinity, you will never suffer in life. But there are some people, no, I want to come to Badrinath, but is there attached bathroom? Arey Ram, you will be born as a bhangi. Attached bathroom. You are going to get attached to the bathroom or to see Narayana. That's the only thing that they can think about. Imagine you go to Narayana. What do you want? Attached. So you will be attached eternally. Therefore, hey Arjun, Nimitta Matra Bhava Savyasachin. Savyasachin, the one who can handle everything perfectly with both the hands, is called as Savyasachin. For him, left hand, right hand has no meaning. I had a friend, he was expert in using both the hands. Calculations he used to do with the left hand. And writing he used to do with the right hand. Very peculiar. So both the hands equally perfectly usable. Arjun was like that. For him, whether he takes the bow and the arrow with the right hand or the left hand, it was equally perfect. So to that Arjuna Bhagwan says, Nimitta Matra Bhava Savyasachin. You just be an excuse for the Lord to function through you. Nimitta Matra Bhava Savyasachin. And he says, who are the people about whom you are more worried? I'll tell you what happened to them. Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadratham cha Karnam tathanyanyaphi yodha veeran Maya hatanstvam jahima vyatishta yuddhasva jetasi rane sapatnan. Your all the time problem was, how can I kill Bhishmacharya? How can I kill Dronacharya? Bhagwan says, don't worry, I have already killed them in anticipation. Don't we do thank you in anticipation? So, the jivas do thank you in anticipation. The Lord said killed in anticipation. And that is very true. We are all dead from the Lord's point of view. So, Dronam cha Bhishmam cha Jayadratham cha Dronacharya Bhishmacharya Jayadratha. Now I can't tell you all the stories associated with everybody. Jayadratha was one of the most terrible person to be killed because he had the boon. Whosoever will separate his head from the body, and if the head falls on the ground, the one who has done that job, his head will also fall. That was the problem. Naturally, who will kill him? And therefore he was very powerful. Even that Jayadratha is already killed, you don't worry. And similarly, Karna is most staunch enemy. Everybody is already killed. Maya hatanstvam jahima vyatishta. And the most important thing is, see, you must have seen many times I emphasize two principles. One principle is, refuse to be miserable. Don't justify that you are miserable. And second thing, be positively happy in spite of everything. You just practice that. So when I was telling one day, one person came and told me, he says, Swamiji, you are biased towards happiness. Anything, whether it is Bhagavad Gita, it is Upanishad, it is Ramayana, it is anything, you guma phira and come back only to happiness. Where from you get this? I said, look here. Ultimate Bhagwan is as if begging from Arjuna. Arjuna refused to be miserable. Ma vyatishtaha. How much painful it must be for the Lord to see that his own beloved is unnecessarily worried. Friends, please understand. More than what you have done or what you have not done, what is important is how you are. Whether you have given charity to somebody or you have not given. Whether you have helped somebody or not helped somebody. That is not important. Important is how you are at every moment of your life. Suppose you are having all the time the mala in the hand and the name in the mouth. Ram, 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 Ram. And totally disgusted, frustrated. One. Another fellow is gloriously singing Atitya Kandala. But he is very happy. Out of the two, if God has to select, I am telling you as His messenger. If God has to select, He will not select that crying Ram, 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 Ram. Whether it's saying Ram or Ram, God knows. Spelling is same. Isn't it? What is important is these two principles. Mahavedishtaha, refuse to be miserable. And second thing, be positively happy in this world. When these two things are with you, you have recognized the Vishwarupa Darshan. Very, very important. So, Maya hatasvam jahima vedishta yuddhasva jetasi rane sapatnan. Now you fight. I guarantee you will succeed. In this manner, Bhagavan explained to Arjuna as to what he wanted to see and his fear and all that. Now see, in the beginning Arjuna has started, I told you this point. When he started, this, therefore I never like the goody-goody people. Those who are too goody-goody, 24 hours they will do 48 times namaskar. And this way, that way. I don't take onions. I don't touch the garlic at all. I take only boiled vegetables and at the most I graze. Very dangerous fellows. See, Arjuna started telling, goody, 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 goody. Madanugrahaya paramam guhyamadhyatma sannitam yastvayoktam vachastena mohoyam vigato mama. O Lord, in the 10th chapter, you have told everything so beautifully that all my delusion has gone. Now the same Arjuna, without washing his mouth, he started telling, oh Lord, after I see your terrible form, I am extremely frightened. Who are you? Your delusion has gone. Now this is the baby of the delusion or what? See, I told you in the beginning, if the delusion has gone, fear cannot exist. And if we are living under any influence of fear, we are under the influence of the delusion about our own identity. See, when an actor is acting on the stage and his part is that one person comes and takes the dagger and puts in his chest and the blood oozes out and he dies. This is the part he is playing. Now the actor who is dying, he knows that the one who is coming with the dagger, it is a rubber dagger. And in that rubber dagger, there is red ink which looks like blood. And when he puts that inside, that rubber gets squeezed and the blood comes out. And you have to say, and die sincerely. Now when he knows that this is all a drama, he will never be afraid of. Suppose that rubber goes inside, then what will happen? It will erase the heart. See? In the same manner, if the delusion about our identity is completely gone, there cannot be fear of any kind. And fearless existence alone is joyful and happy existence. See? Suppose I call any one of you. Don't worry, I am not going to call. I started seeing the hearts coming out and going in, coming out and going in. I think Swami is going to call me only. Suppose I suddenly call any one of you. And now Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so will summarize what I have spoken today. I think I am not called. I am not called. I am not called. Now why that fear comes? The moment the fear is in your heart, you cannot enjoy life. See? And that fear is only because identity crisis. Arjuna had that problem. Whether I am the grandson of Bhishmacharya or the disciple of Dronacharya or a warrior on the battlefield. And because of this identity crisis, more delusion, he had all these problems. See how simple it is. Therefore, friends, Vishwarupa Darshan is that understanding when you learn from the worldly, everyday experiences. Vishwarupa Darshan, don't imagine that Bhagavan is standing with a huge, like the Dashera Ravana. No. So many things are happening around us every day, every moment. Learn from them. And when you learn from them, you grow wise. And when you grow wise, you have no doubts. When you have no doubts, you are extremely happy, you are cheerful, you are not disgusted. This is the purpose of this Vishwarupa Darshan. It is not to frighten, but it is to make us understand this is what life is. And the beauty of life is only because of this. I remember one elderly man was very disgusted, and when I was talking to him, he described the world as a dog's tail. He said, biting his teeth. He said, Swamiji, this world is like a dog's tail. Kutte ki dum hai. I said, you don't have to grind the kutte ki dum, but simple thing. The beauty of the dog's tail is because it is crooked. Just imagine a dog with a straight antenna. How ugly it will look. In the same manner, the world is really beautiful because of the ugliness in the world. The world is really a place of happiness because there is misery in this world. The riches have value because there is poverty in this world. See how important it is. One example I gave you, I'll give the same example in different context. Once I went with the children for some fair, and we had all the rides and who, everything. So, this is Swamiji, now we will go according to your choice. You are just running with us, but we have never asked you what do you like. I said, okay, let us go in the mirror room. Swamiji, what is there in the mirror room? I said, did I ask you a question when you took me to roller coasters and everywhere? No. I said, now you come there. So there were about a dozen mirrors. First mirror you go, you are normal yourself. Oh, what is there? I say, we are not complete. Either complete the whole thing, then give your comment. Next mirror, you are like a tapeworm. Hey, look. Then you go to the third mirror, you are like a pumpkin. Then you go to the fourth mirror, your head is this place, your tail is this place. And by the time you go through all those experiences and then come out, then I asked him, said, hey, was it boring? No, Swami, it was so wonderful. See? How simple life becomes. Everything in this world is perfect as it is required. And when you have this vision, you will see birth is a point of celebration. Death is also a point of celebration. Gain is a point of celebration. Loss is also a point of celebration. If we are able to celebrate every event of our life, we have the Vishwarupa Darshan. And when this was told by the Lord, hereafter our Sanjay Maharaj comes into picture. Sanjaya reports to Dhritarashtra, Sanjay Uvacha, Eta Shrutva Vachanam Keshavasya Krutanjalira Vepamana Kiriti Namaskrutva Bhuya Evaha Krishnam Sagad Gadam Bhita Bhita Pranamya. Bhagavad Gita was told by Bhagwan Sri Krishna to Arjuna before the war began. This Bhagavad Gita episode was related to Dhritarashtra by Sanjaya on the 10th day. Please remember this basic principle. And why on the 10th day? Because every day what is happening on the battlefield, evening the complete report was coming to Dhritarashtra. How many horses are killed, how many elephants are killed, how many soldiers are killed, how many these chariots are destroyed. Every account was coming to him every day. Why will he ask anything? But on the 10th day, it so happens, Bhishmacharya falls to the arrows of Arjuna. And when this news is received by Dhritarashtra, he is totally nonplussed. Hey, Dronacharya, Bhishmacharya, invincible powers, how can they fall? And Bhishmacharya was known for his own choice. So how can he be the victim of the arrows of Arjuna? And therefore he asked a question on the 10th day. Sanjay, what happened? How come the whole equation of the votes is changing? How come our people are defecting to other party? I have done so much. I have given them money, I have given them bungalows, I have given them everything. What has gone wrong? When this is said, when the elections are over. And then the secretary reports, before your visit to this constituency, those people came to you, sir, oblique madam, as the case may be, that these are the problems, these are the local people. Unless you take care of them, our party will not win. But they were under the influence of those locals, and as a result, these people found out that our words are not heard by the party chief. So when the party chief goes, we defect and go to somewhere where somebody listens to us. When this is reported, when the party is defeated in the election. But when this happened before the elections. If this is clear, in the same manner, Dhritarashtra's question was, how come Bhishmacharya has fallen? What is that? Because of which the total equation has changed. And then Sanjay tells, oh my Lord, before the war began, this was the thing. And in that, Arjuna was totally broken, completely shaken. Because you have sent me to create confusion in their minds. And Arjuna was totally gone. And to that confused Arjuna, Bhagwan Sri Krishna gave this discourse. And as a result of this discourse, he has seen very clearly that all the warriors of the Kaurava side are going to be destroyed. And they are already destroyed in future. When this was known to Arjuna, that we are bound to be successful, then he became confident and said, Nashto moha smrutir labdhat kar prasadad mayachyuta gatosmi stitosmi gata sandeha karishye vachanam tava. And then he started his war. So, Here, on the 10th day, when Sanjay is telling what happened, be very attentive. Actually, Sanjay is not telling to anybody but to Dhritarashtra. What? It is already decided, my dear. As you have seen, Dronacharya has fallen. Bhishmacharya has fallen. All your children will be killed. At least now on the 10th day, withdraw the war. That was the purpose of Sanjaya telling. But Dhritarashtra was so obsessed. He did not want to alter his decision because he was under the influence of tremendous delusion. So, Sanjaya says, Eta Shrutva Vachanam Keshavasya. When this was heard by Arjuna, said by Bhagwan Sri Krishna Keshava, Krutanjali Vepamanak Kiriti. Kiriti means Arjuna. So Arjuna, by folding his hand together, he was totally shaken and Namaskrutva Bhuya Evaha Krishnam, saluting the Lord again and again, Sagat Gadam, with all the choking throat, Bhita Bhita Pranamya, with great fear he has saluted the Lord, and thereafter Arjuna said thus. So from the 36th verse onward, this is the most enchanting prayer that every one of us must chant in our life at home, and you will see the same experience what Arjuna had, we also can have, provided we are able to tune ourselves to the Arjuna station. And in that, this is one of the most enchanting prayer. I remember long time back, I was in Michigan, and there our Swamiji told me, you teach these people, the people over there, the Arjuna's prayer. So I took out the book and started teaching. So some of them went to Swamiji. Swamiji, he is teaching us Bhagavad Gita and you told him to teach the Arjuna's prayer. Please tell him to change. So Swamiji looked at them. Oh, you know more than everybody in this world. Do what he is doing. And then he told, this is the most enchanting and powerful prayer in the whole of Mahabharata. It is so important. So Arjuna begins, Sthane Rishikesha Tava Prakirtya Jagat Pravrushate Anurajyate Cha Rakshamsi Bhitani Disho Dravanti Sarve Namasyanti Cha Siddha Sangha. And then slowly he goes into such a depth in his prayer, and suddenly he remembers, not knowing the glory of this Lord, how wrong was my behavior when I did not know him. So this prayer is the most enchanting one. We'll take it tomorrow so that we can do it from day after tomorrow in our life. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.